It appeared after some oil pollution incidents that preparedness in many countries was not adequate.
The majority of spills occur during the transportation of oil.
The whole of the oil spill response operation should really be geared to protecting environmental resources.
Well, unfortunately, many countries perceive cost as a main problem.
Effective response management depends on good preparation and pre-planning.
It's absolutely vital that there is cooperation between governments of adjoining countries, because oil spills know no boundaries.
The oceans of the world are the highways on which the movement of oil from the major production centers to the worldwide markets is achieved by the use of tankers. The global pattern of marine transport is well known, but perhaps a less well-known fact is that some 2,500 million tons of crude oil are moved by sea each year. On top of this, there is an increasing onshore and offshore production of oil and gas. Although tankers are not the major source of oil entering the marine environment, in the last 30 years, large spills involving tankers have accounted for a very high percentage of all the oil spilt into the oceans of the world. The vessels' names read like an all too familiar catalogue of disasters. Torrey Canyon, 119,000 tons. Amoco Cadiz, 227,000 tons. Castillo de Belvier, 257,000 tons. Exxon Valdez, 37,000 tons. Haven, 140,000 tons. Aegean Sea, 72,000 tons. And Brer, 85,000 tons. Spills like these are thankfully rare, but when they do occur, they are immediate, localized, and often have a devastating effect on the marine environment and ecology, even on society itself. Without doubt, the main aim is to concentrate on preventing spills. But despite everyone's best efforts, spills will occur and will result in damage of one kind or another. So if the threats of a major marine incident are to be avoided and the effects mitigated, there must be in place a viable system of preparedness and response at local, national, regional and international levels. This means developing contingency plans by means of which resources of all kinds can be mobilized for immediate response. After extensive negotiations among its national representatives, the International Maritime Organization agreed on a convention on oil pollution, preparedness, response and cooperation known as OPRC, and aimed at addressing global oil pollution concerns.
The main objective is to put the accent on preparedness and to tell to people you have to be prepared, even at a very minimum level, which is knowing who is responsible for which action and who would coordinate governmental action in case of a pollution.
None of us can do this alone. It's not possible for individual governments or for an intergovernmental organization such as IMO, or indeed for the oil industry itself, to operate alone. This has to be done collectively because the expertise is needed and the costs must be apportioned in a way that it's not any great burden on any one of the parties.
After the major oil spills of 1989-90, IPECA, the International Petroleum Industry Environmental Conservation Association, working alongside senior representatives of IMO, concluded that the oil industry, in cooperation with national government, should play a major role in helping to develop national plans to deal with oil spills. Such plans had to address global environmental concerns and relate directly to the OPRC Convention. And so the concept of a cost-effective mechanism for industry and government cooperation became reality through the program of joint IMO oil industry seminars promoting the theme of joint contingency planning for oil spill response.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be looking at the realities of an oil spill and the many.
We are convinced that we have a strong need for people from the different parties, the industry, governments, and any other involved party, to see them working together, and we have already some good signals that things are progressing.
As a follow-up of the seminar which was held in Gabon, we set up a technical committee, what we call ad hoc committee, composed of 4 member countries, 2 from the industry, 2 from the government, in order to develop an emergency contingency planning for the region. The IMO IPECA seminar was important in the sense that for once government got aware of the problem.
The seminar in Jakarta had triggered the awareness among the government as well as industry on the importance of working together. We also have established the regional contingency plan, which we call it ASEAN OSRAP, ASEAN Oil Spill Response Action Plan, agreed upon by the 6 ASEAN countries, namely Brunei Darussalam, Republic of Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. And this was agreed upon in 1993.
For those who are not familiar with the Arab Sea region,
in late November of '93, there was a major oil spill in the Gulf, and Saudi Aramco was invited by Babco in Bahrain to respond or to participate in the response to the spill. And the cooperation that we get from both governments of Saudi Arabia and the government of Bahrain was tremendous. It was very significant in having the equipment and the personnel be moved from one country to the other without any barriers at all.
The increased cooperation between industry and government has been a significant improvement, and it's definitely coming out of this conference. The interest that industry has shown, I think, will spark more governments to take this oil spill contingency planning more serious. And the industry seems to be looking more to helping government in supporting them in the contingency planning effort.
Without doubt, the most pressing need is to concentrate on preventing spills. This program will explore the steps that need to be taken by government and industry in planning for probable response to an oil spill. The assessment of risk looks at the kinds of risks involved: passing traffic, local traffic density, cargo transfers, marine hazards, and the environmental, economic, and social resources which could be at risk. The concept of tiered response acknowledges that different situations call for different responses to cope with small, medium, or large spills, whether at local, regional, or national level. Response Strategies and Options examines the various options which are open to those charged with combating the spill. Education and training of the response planners and organizations is a vital and essential part of any contingency plan if it is to be effective and to continue to remain effective. And finally, we look at financial aid and how to seek compensation.